race fans, welcome to my little show about motorsports I like to call In the Pits with me, StockCar Scott, here each Wednesday on YouTube during racing season when I feel like it. This past weekend, all the television stock car racing was in one place, Dover, and one channel, Fox Sports 1. Remember, it's the channel that used to be Speed Channel, and Speed Vision. Seems all the remainder of the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup and most Xfinity races covered by Fox in June will be on Fox Sports 1. You know, like a few years back, if you didn't have cable TV with TNT, then you didn't watch NASCAR Cup races in June, you know, kind of like that. Friday there was a Camping World truck race after the Toad captured the pole position for Sunday's 400-lap, 400-mile Monster Energy Cup race there at Dover. You may have missed it while you were stuck in afternoon traffic there on Friday. Johnny Sauter won and still leads the point standings going into their next race at Texas, which is Friday evening, probably while you're stuck in traffic again. So don't forget to set your video recorder, and be sure to set it a couple of hours earlier there so you can also record the Pocono ARCA 200 coming on before the truck race. And it's all on Fox Sports 1 after qualifying for the Sunday Cup race. The last ARCA race at Elko, Minnesota was not on Fox Sports 1, but I did get to see the exciting last couple of laps from Saturday night on Facebook first and then later on the ARCA website. Austin Theriault edged out 16-year-old Christian Eckes to win on the fast 3/8 mile track, and he still leads the point standings going into Pocono this Friday. Then on Saturday, I got to see all 200 laps of the Dover Xfinity race won by Kyle Larson in the number 42 Chip Ganassi Camaro before heading south to watch the Northwest Super Late Model Series Rumble in Rochester 125 at South Sound Speedway. Larson was victorious over the winner in the previous race, Ryan Blaney. Xfinity points leader Elliott Sadler continues to lead the standings with a 7th place finish, which was just behind his Junior Motorsports teammate there, Phenom William Byron, and just ahead of my favorite Ford Xfinity driver from my home state of Alabama, Bubba, Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr. And he had some big news this week, and it was good and bad. Yep, we found out Monday Bubba will be substituting in the Kings number 43 for the injured Eric Almirola. For the next couple of months, Eric will need to fully recover. I can't help but wonder if someone in Richard Petty Motorsports watches In the Pits with me, StockCar Scott, and decided to make my dream come true. Well, I hope Bubba makes the most of his good news in the Monster Energy Cup Series there, because the bad news is after this weekend at Pocono, the funding for Bubba's Xfinity ride, the number 6 Roush Mustang, will be drying up and the team will cease operations. And this, folks, is for a team and driver that is now sitting 4th in the driver's point standings for the Xfinity Series, which is really a shame that he can't get sponsorship for that number 6. Well, on the bright side, Bubba won't have that as a distraction anymore. He's going to be funded, and Bubba is going to be in the iconic number 43 and his best bud and podcast co-star Ryan Blaney is already in the equally iconic Wood Brothers number 21. So all I can say is, let the fun begin. And in that vein of fun and history, I offer this following clip from almost a dozen years ago on a Seattle public access program called the GSR, or the Garfield Sports Report, or the Ghetto Sports Report. I was never really sure what it was supposed to be. But one evening years ago, I saw an angle to get in there, and I stepped in as a NASCAR specialist with news of diversity in a sport where it appeared to be sorely lacking. I hope everyone remembers Bill Lester. Let's see, old Bill Lester here. From way back then. And they enjoy this coming blast from the past. So, enjoy. Oh. You
guys see the number on the bottom of the screen, 421-5004. Make sure you guys give us a call. We got a special guest in the studio today from the Waterboy Sports Show. It's your man, StockCar Scott, coming to talk some NASCAR with us since we finally got a brother driving in the NASCAR circuit. What's going on, man?
Hey, glad y'all let me on. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Shout out to Willie T. Ribs.
Willie
There you go, 20 years ago.
Ribs.
20 years ago.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Bill
he did
Lester.
good. He was like, he started out in like Trans Am doing back and forth, and like a lot of other guys, he wanted to just go around in circles. That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's up, a bunch of left turns. I mean, I wouldn't mind making a bunch of left turns like that and get my money too, but I can't really feel like I can put my life on the line like that, and then I'll be the only brother out there. Somebody just feel like, you know what?
Let's go ahead and
They
bump
won't
him.
miss him.
Let's go ahead and bump him and put him into
every
the...
time you walk out the door. When I was like
Yeah, you
12
do.
years old, I was watching the Bears play the Detroit Lions, and I forget who it was.
Mike Utley.
And they tagged this guy on the lines, and it killed him. And it killed him dead right there on the spot. So there's no
Killed him dead.
guarantees in this world.
You're right.
There's no guarantees, and there's no guarantee that you're not going to fall down on the basketball court and beat your head against hardwood and kill
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay,
There's
right.
nothing, there's nothing saying that you're not going to get hit in the head with a baseball.
Okay, we didn't have you on here to give us a
Yeah, but
life experience.
you
Come
also
on, man.
don't have to go into life wrestling alligators
real,
for a
man.
living either.
Yeah, well,
You're
at that-
StockCar
at that
Scott, man.
doctor-
You're StockCar Scott.
Like-
Let's talk about StockCar.
And
Hold up.
talking about StockCar,
Scott, hold
Man,
fast,
Bill.
hold fast. Bill Lester, no question. We're
Bill
going to get
Lester.
into him. We're going to get into him. Believe me, we want to touch on that.
And he did
We got a
well.
call real quick. Caller, you're on with the GSR. What's on your mind?
Carl, you there? In the tournament. Put up 34.
oh, you know it'll sound better when it's like Indiana Pacer.
That's
or,
next.
Yeah, or
That's
whatever.
next.
Yeah, that'll sound good.
That's next, man.
No question.
StockCar Scott. Let's talk about StockCar.
Let's get into it.
I appreciate it because I know people who were hoping to watch the race on Channel 13 did not, because they decided to show something else other than racing. And I know that's because racing isn't so popular up here in the urban Seattle. But they should have, because your boy from Enumclaw, Casey Kane, started on the pole, and that should have been impetus enough for them to show the race. But no, they don't show it, and Casey goes round and round and comes out number 1 in the race.
Second career victory,
his
right?
Second career victory.
That's
his
what's
first
up.
500-mile victory. His first victory was at Richmond, and it wasn't quite such a long
Yeah, that's a
race.
short track.
But yeah, and he pulled off his first 500-mile victory at NASCAR's fastest track. They go faster in Atlanta than they do
wait,
even
no,
at, the,
at Daytona, or the restrictor plate
because they
races?
restrict the
But they got the
engines.
drafting though.
But because they restrict the engines at Daytona and Talladega, the fastest track is Atlanta. They go upwards of 199 miles.
Isn't it amazing how much this guy knows about NASCAR, man?
And
This Melvin character?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why I
know
just
about
started laughing a
NASCAR,
few
man.
minutes ago when this guy just said, it tickled me to pieces, man. This guy just said, That's a short track. You know? Like,
I know about NASCAR, man.
Oh, man, this guy is funny, man.
His favorite track is Talladega because he likes to watch a
draft.
He just likes how that sounds.
I like the draft.
Sounds like Tallahassee.
I'm gonna tell you, man, if you've never watched a restrictor plate racing, dog, it's exciting. I mean, the leagues change, man. You guys get to drafting. You gotta watch it, man. I'm telling you, man.
Chess game.
It's a trip, man. Anybody can win. Yeah,
and the big one happens.
And anybody can.
All over
Yeah,
man. You need to watch it sometime. It is like Trey Cool.
Well, look,
But I'm
It's like what?
Trey Cool.
Oh, boy.
I got a NASCAR question. It's always bothered me. What the hell is the difference between restrictor plate racing and just regular racing?
Okay, regular racing, they have the engines at full horsepower. But if they have the engines at full horsepower at Talladega or Daytona, if they have a wreck, the car would end up in the fan's lap. It almost happened about a dozen years. Well, no, it was longer than that. It's been about 20 years since Bobby Allison took down about a quarter mile of catch fence.
Bobby Allison. He died in a helicopter, didn't he?
No, that was his son, Davey Allison.
Yeah.
But anyway, sometimes there you go. But they put the restrictor plates on them to slow them down, to keep them out of the crowds. And it makes for very tight racing. It makes for tight packs. And
exciting racing.
If you can imagine rush hour traffic down I-5 at 150, 160, 180 miles.
That's my type of talk, man.
And those guys are that tight flying down through there. You know, so you know you got to have.
And they just get on somebody's bumper and then they catch a draft.
Cars went in the stands a few more
Melvin's my witness. I got a need for speed, man.
Crashes.
I think I'd be a hell of a NASCAR driver.
Shout out to my cousin Fats, man. I like the crashes.
And you know, the fellow that raced this weekend, Bill Lester. He is not a new face in NASCAR. He's been in the trucks for 7 years, and I love it.
Oh, he was the one that was in the truck series?
Yeah.
He like dominated for
Well, he's been real good. He hasn't won a race there yet, but he has done.
Go ahead, Bill Lester.
And he'll probably be one of Toyota's first drivers in the Cup Series, the way it's going. But the funniest thing I ever heard about Bill Lester was, you remember which Chris Rock movie is it where he talks about Colin Powell?
Oh, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, where he speaks so well. You know, where he goes.
Oh, he does. Bill Lester, I heard him talk yesterday.
Well, but anyway, years ago, when Bill Lester first showed up on the truck scene, Benny Parsons, bless his old soul, he's talking about Bill and he says, and you know, he speaks so well. And I felt,
that's that book. Well, put him in blackface and put some red around his lips there.
I fell out of my chair because this is the same thing that Chris Rock is saying. You know, Benny, find you something new to say.
Man, Bill Lester speaks. He's been coached.
Oh man, he like started out as a software designer at Hewlett Packard, and he wanted to drive so much. You know, just as much as anybody else has a will to play basketball or go bowling or go fishing or mountain climbing or whatever, he had that. You know, and he asked his wife, and she said it was okay for him to go racing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Are the good old boys, because this is a good old boy sport, are they ready to let the minorities in?
Oh, they're dying. They are dying to have
racial diversity?
Thank you.
Well, wait a minute now.
They want this because they want to have everybody in the stands. And they want to have sponsors that cater to everybody.
Yeah, they want to make as much money as they can.
Exactly. Money is green, and that's what counts. That's the.
And they're trying to find their way to wiggle their way into the hip hop.
That's why they went to Mexico a couple of weeks ago. They went to Mexico City because that's where the rich Mexicans are. They went to get some of their money.
That's just why Carmelo got a car now.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony's got a car.
Carmelo.
What happened with Magic Johnson? He wasn't able to get a team.
I think he's still in the diversity
program
committee.
Now
working on it.
When we can get past the whole diversity, when we don't have to bring that up,
that will be when
then I'm all for it, man. But as of right now, it's too much of an emphasis on the fact that this is the first black driver and this and that and whatnot.
I said
black
basketball player. What if there was never a first black baseball player?
Well, that was
There's got
before
to
there
be
was like this
somebody.
media and everything. This is 2006.
It's got to catch up sometime.
It's gotta start somewhere.
Gotta have to remember.
And just give it 8 years and we'll be
I'm
dominated.
not hating on it. I'm not hating on it.
Give us
but
8 years
my
and we'll
whole point
dominate
is,
it.
A few years ago, they just started having integrated proms in the South at some schools. You know what I'm saying?
What?
So,
But
let's not.
don't
Yes.
think of it so much as Southern versus the rest of the country. Think of it in terms
3 years
of
ago.
urban versus rural.
Yeah,
Racing is a rural sport.
Yeah.
People who live out in the country have to have something to get around
They have to
in.
have something to race in, spit their tobacco and-
I thought it's where they carried their moonshine.
Racetrack out in his backyard, out in the country,
Yeah.
out there in Enumclaw. You can't have a racetrack in your backyard on the corner of 85th
You're right.
and
I agree.
You know what?
100%.
I know some brothers that can be some damn good race car drivers.
Poppy, Toda.
Toda, Pop, man.
Then they need to go to Evergreen Raceway.
I mean, I've seen
And
these
get
guys elude
somebody
the
to
police
put them
and
in a car and prove their stuff. That's what you gotta do. There is a guy that runs on the West Coast out here, Tim Woods III, and he does admirably, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta get somebody to put you in a car.
are they gonna build a track up here? What's
I
the
hope
holdup?
not.
First it was gonna be
I hope
over.
not. This place
So first it was
does
gonna
not
be up in
deserve to
Monroe.
have a track.
Now they're talking about having one
No,
in
this,
Kitsap County.
if they put a track in the Northwest, it needs to be in Oregon or something.
Why not Washington?
Or in eastern Washington, but the city of Seattle does not deserve to have the money that a racetrack is gonna bring to this town. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why they don't deserve it. Channel 13 didn't even show the race money.
He
They
is
decided to
pissed
show
about
some friggin' Judge Mathis and his crack.
Hey, wait, hold on.
And Judge.
my granny shows.
And Judge Roy, Larry Joe, Texas Justice, and some horses or some crap.
I don't
And
know
Tony
about Texas
Danza-
Justice,
Tony
but-
Danza just live on his butt. Why did they have that instead of racing? History was being made.
I agree
The
with
first
that.
black man in 20 years, the first, and the first racer from King County to win on a regular basis, and they don't even show it.
I
What's
agree.
wrong with you pussies?
Oh.
People, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Did that charge you up emotionally?
Very much. And if you want to see how much it's charged me up, watch Thursday night between 9:30 and 10:30 on the Water Boys show, and I will tell you how much I'm upset about it.
You're really upset, man, but at the same time, Judge Matheson.
You're stupid.
Yeah, but he
So
could
he could've done
have
anything
adjudicated
else.
a case between a crack whore and an old
Hey,
fart.
that's big to a lot of people. Now that's
Some
real
other
life to a lot of people.
If your grandmother had got to see that race, she would have been proud.
Believe me, my grandmother was watching Judge Mathis, and she would have been pissed if the race would have came on instead of that. And we can
Okay,
call her
I'm
right
just
now. I'm
gonna-
gonna just tell you the honest truth about my granny.
Oh, man.
That's what she's into.
Man. Well,
Man.
thanks for coming
On the
on,
same-
man.
Well, I sure do appreciate y'all
StockCar
having me.
Scott, man.
I sure
Thanks for
do.
coming, man.
And maybe sometime y'all can come on the Water Boy show on Thursday night.
Oh, man.
We can talk a little car racing. But I
Alright.
appreciate y'all having me tonight.
No question.
Right on, man.
Oh, man.
StockCar
Man.
Scott.
You're always welcome, man. So
All
we
the
keep
time
it
you're
real,
always
man.
welcome.
You know what I'm saying?
We like to move around. We like to touch a little bit of everything, man. We
Yeah.
do stock car. We do a little hockey.
Hey, I
we
should
do a
probably
little
move my
golf.
stock car now.
You did. You was on point, man.
on, man. I
You almost
watched that,
made me
though.
want to open a book and do some homework about
I be watching that,
but
man. I know
don't
about the
think so.
great.
Well, it's March Madness, man, so let's jump right into it.
Oh, okay, we're back. That was my first time doing a clip, so I hope I didn't lose too many viewers. Thanks for indulging me. Oh my, how times have and have not changed. Well, let's get back here to 2017 and some local racing here in the great Northwest. Saturday, because my wife's son still needed her to stay home for that project that they're working on. After the Xfinity race at Dover was over, I headed south alone to South Sound Speedway to see the Northwest Super Late Model Series at the Rumble in Rochester 125. Along the way, I visited with a friend from the Waterboy Sports Show days that I haven't seen in a long while, too long, a couple of years. It was good to see Old Saint Nick, the fella that helped me to become Stock Car Scott so many years ago by inviting me onto his public access sports show. Thank you, Nick. My stops meant that I didn't get to the track until after qualifying, so I missed Shane Mitchell's set fast time for the 21 car field of super late models. I did have time to visit the concession stand, though, for some of the excellent race food South Sound Speedway has to offer. This week I had my alternate favorite of chicken tenders basket, which is every bit as yummy and good as their chili cheese fries that I'm trying to make famous. And the racing that they served up that night was every bit as good as the concessions. I didn't record all of the trophy dashes, but I did capture the A dash for the super late models because one of my favorite drivers, Molly Helmuth, was on the front row with her fourth fastest time in qualifying that I'd missed. She battled hard for the 4 laps and sealed the deal the last time through turn 2 to win a trophy, which she turned around and gave to one of her loyal young fans that just happens to be the daughter of Kenny Burns, that if you watch a lot of In the Pits, you know that I have known since my days with the Waterboys Sports Show. Kenny also brought another Waterboys alumnus, Big Low, Seattle's biggest sports fan, to yet another local race. Looks like old Low is slowly becoming a big race fan too. After the trophy dashes and the heat races that I did record, came the Baby Grand 25 lap main, won by South Sound late model driver, a regular, that's what he usually does, Sean Jones, in a one-off deal. Then came the Vintage Modified Series 30 lap main, won by Devin Ehrman. After the real old cars came the little old looking cars. You know, the Lexar Home Legends, with Devin West winning again this season there at South Sound Speedway. The last race of the evening, of course, was the big Rumble in Rochester 125 with a big 21 car super late model field, including, for perhaps the first time ever in Washington State, 4 young ladies in the field with Molly Helmuth, Brooke Schimmel, Stephanie Evans, and Brittany Zamora. Zamora, who battled up front for most of the night, came directly from her high school graduation to run in the Northwest Super Late Model Series event. She ran very well that night, but ended the night wrecked as she got caught up in the antics of Rod Schultz Rod Schultz Sr. and Shane Mitchell, as they banged and beat and blocked their way into barriers and black flags. And after the dust settled, the combatants were either towed off the track or put off the track. And then the race resumed with 2 laps to go. Mitch Klein and Chad Hinkle found themselves on the front row and raced hard and clean the final 2 laps when Hinkle again came up a foot or 2 short of winning a super late model event at South Sound Speedway. This time to Mitch Klein instead of Canadian Wade Bland. Fellow Canadian Brandon Carlson came back from an early spin to finish 3rd, kind of like Jeff Knight did at Evergreen Speedway last week. Jeff, who I saw in the pits at South Sound, wasn't the only Evergreen regular that I did see there at South Sound, mainly because they were having drifting That was what was happening at the fairgrounds. Oh, meanwhile, on the other side of the state, whoo, over there in Spokane, the Better All Auto Sales Twisted Tea West Coast Late Model Series ran the Royal Crown RC Cola 100 at the Super Oval at the Spokane County Raceway Park. I read that Randy Marshall Jr. won the race with the driver that I had hoped to see at the Rumble in Rochester, Buck Knoll Jr., coming in second in his faithful old Ford he named Margaret. Now they haven't got the Northwest Super Late Model car ready yet, so they decided to go to Spokane. Rich Peters, Yakima regular, was third in the 15-car field. The Better All Auto Sales, the next Better All Auto Sales Twisted Tea West Coast Late Model Series 100 lap event is the 24th of June at Evergreen Speedway, while the next Evergreen Super Late Model event is this weekend. Also, now when West Coast is at Evergreen, there's also a Super Late Model event that goes along with it with mini stocks and street stocks. It's going to be a really good night. But like I said, the next Evergreen Super Late Model event is this weekend, along with street stocks, mini stocks, youth Hornets, and 3 classes of figure 8s. That is, if it doesn't rain. Remember, Super Lates don't run in the rain, but all the other classes do. Back at South Sound Speedway this weekend, they will be hosting winged sprint cars, late models, bumblebees, hobby stocks, and legends. That's, again, if it doesn't rain. Either of these shows is only $16 for adults. Very, very reasonably priced. So check out their different websites for more details. Elsewhere in racing coming up this weekend, we have the Strawberry Cup at Western Speedway in Columbia, British Columbia, with 2 days, June 9th and 10th, of winged sprints, non-winged sprint cars, and vintage modifieds. Neither Spokane nor Yakima seem to have any oval racing scheduled for this weekend, but the Hermiston Raceway Park is hosting the big limited late model Sagebrush 75, which sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, folks, but sorry, I just can't make the trip. Let's see what else happened this weekend. Oh yeah, IndyCar had dual road races in Detroit. Both were won by Graham Rahal, but I didn't see either one. The next IndyCar race is Saturday night in Texas. And if I don't go to the races, I will definitely watch that one because they go scary fast to Texas. Also, there was a Monster Energy Cup race at Dover. And you know, it ended like 82 other races have over the past 15 years. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 11th. And last week's winner, Austin Dillon, was 12th. Though, relatively speaking, everyone else's favorite driver in the family there finished better than mine, except Edom Claw's favorite there, Casey Kane, who brought it home in 17th for Washington State. The next Cup event is in the Pocono Mountains at Long Pond, Pennsylvania, on the 2.5 mile tricky triangle where Dale Jr. won both of the races in 2014, and you know it usually rains there. The weather looks good for this weekend, but I'm not holding my breath. Also this weekend, the Formula One guys get back to it at with the Grand Prix of Canada in Montreal, and a place where Lewis Hamilton won last year and needs to win again to close the gap with points leader Sebastian Vettel. Well, that's it for this week here on In the Pits, Mistakes and All. Thank you for letting me indulge with the old blast from the past video clip there about diversity in NASCAR on the GSR and Seattle Public Access TV. I am really excited about Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr. getting a well-deserved shot at Cup racing in a well-funded team, and I hope he's able to leave a bigger mark on the sport than either Bill Lester or Willie T. Ribbs ever could. And for that sake, Wendell Scott, no relation to StockCar Scott, more than he ever could. So hopefully next week I will have a big smile on my face because both juniors did really well on the Tricky Triangle. As I said not long ago, a guy can dream. So let me wrap this up because I am sure this episode will go way long with the GSR clip. Thank you again to Melvin and the guys there from so long ago, allowing me to be on their show way back then. I have no idea where to find those fellas nowadays, but you folks don't have that problem with me. All you regular viewers know you can find me right here each Wednesday on the YouTube. Same stock car time, same stock car channel during the racing season, you know, if I feel like it. Now go make some plans to attend some racing someplace this weekend. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, but as you know, as Northwest race fans, we have learned to live with it. So go see some racing if you can there. And yeah, yeah, go Bubba! Woo!